Hi everyone, I'm Maggie Weldon from maggiescrochet.com, and I'm here to introduce a bunch of patriotic designs that we've recently created. And a lot of these are, actually all of them are very easy skill, so they're great for beginners. And there's a nice little purse here with a matching hat and scarf to start with. And this is Deborah Norville's Serenity Chunky Yarn, which is available at maggiescrochet.com. And then I've taken the ruffled scarf from a video that we previously did, and I added Premier Yarn's Mary to the top of it. And this is Premier's Enchant yarn, and we just wound this around and put the button in the middle so you could use it like for a lapel or like a hair thing. And then we did some cute little coasters with cotton yarn. And then this is done with worsted weight yarn, and my daughter laughs at me because I like Ice House Bear. But anyway, and she tells me that at the local little pub that they go to, or the bar, that some of the guys are showing up with these beer cozies. So I'm just taking her word for it. So then we're going to come out with some other ones too. So this scarf is really cute, very easy to make, and that's also out of the Serenity Chunky yarn. And then this necklace I have on could not be easier. It's great for kids to do. Just for beginners, because all it is chains. So this is Starry Night from Premier, and this is Starbella, which is typically used for the ruffling scarves, but you can crochet with it, and it makes a real awesome, easy project to do. And then lastly, this is Red Heart Sachet yarn, already with all the different red, white, and blue colors, and it's like super easy ruffled scarf to make. So now I'm going to take you to a close-up, and Christina is going to show you how to make these projects. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe to our channel, and the links to everything are listed below.
Hey everybody, it's Christina from maggiescrochet.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make this 4th of July scarf. This is an easy skill project. Ends up being about 6 inches wide and about 4 feet long, not including the fringe here. You'll need, of course, red, white, and blue yarn. We used a super bulky weight number 5 yarn, the Deborah Norville Serenity Chunky. And then for the stars, you're going to want a number 4 worsted weight yarn. So that's the Serenity Baby. It has the same look as the Serenity, but it's just a little bit finer, so it makes a little bit better stars. For the main part of the scarf, you'll need a J hook, and for the stars, you'll use an I hook. And then, of course, you'll need a yarn needle to weave in your ends and whatever scissors, snippers you prefer to use. All right, let's get started. So beginning with your white bulky yarn and your J hook, chain 14. And then you will double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3. This is my 4th one right here. And I'll just double crochet right into there. And I'll double crochet all the way across. Round 2 will be exactly the same thing, just double crochets back and forth, including my turning chain. I'll have 12 for each row. So I will come back and show you at the end of row 2 how we'll change colors to do our red stripe. I'm almost at the end of row 2. I've got one more double crochet to do, but in that double crochet I want to change to red. So go ahead and get your red ready. Leave a nice long tail, but go ahead and make your slip stitch just like that. And we'll start our double crochet like normal. But instead of pulling the white through those last 2 loops, that's where we're going to pick up the red, settle that on your hook, and pull that red loop through the last 2 loops. This will change colors nice and cleanly. Don't cut the white, we will be coming back to that. And now, using the red, I'll work the next 2 rows. Same way, chain 3 and turn, working a double crochet in every stitch, and so on. The scarf is mostly red and white. I've got, let's see, a white stripe, a red stripe, another white stripe, and then we'll do a wider blue stripe. Then switch back to the white and the red. And then when I come about to the other end of the scarf, there'll be another wide blue stripe. And then finish it out with the red and white again. So I'm gonna make a mini scarf for this demonstration. So once I get a piece, I'll probably do a piece about maybe 8 inches long or so. I'll come back and show you how to do the edging and the fringe and everything. Now your scarf will be much larger than this, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to show you the skills that you need on this mini piece. You'll have just ended with a white stripe, so you won't need to worry about changing color. But when you reach the end of your very last row, you'll chain 1 and turn. This is the edging. It's called row 55 in your pattern. And in this first double crochet, it's going to ask you to do 3 single crochets. We always just do a little extra on the corner, and that helps us turn the corner nicely. So 3 in that first one, and then 1 per double crochet across the short end of your scarf. You should still have 12 double crochets across, I hope. And then once you reach the last double crochet, again, you'll work 3 in the top of the last one as well. Just a little bit extra to help us turn the corner here. 2, and there's the third one. Now, when you're working into the side of your piece, we want to try to get 2 double crochets in per row. So let's see. We can probably get the first one on your corner there. It may be a little difficult to get 2 in, but I'm going to try and get at least 1 more in. All right, so for our next row here, I want to get 2 double crochets in that side. So we'll get 1 in right here, and then 1 right here. So continue doing this all the way around your scarf. You'll go all the way down the side. When you reach the bottom where you started, you'll work into the unused loops of your initial chain there, all the way up the side. And then when you reach the top again, where you started doing your single crochets, just join with a slip stitch and then finish off your white. Then you'll just need to make 4 stars, and I'll come back and show you how to put those on and how to put on the fringe. To make the star, you're going to use your eye hook and your number 4 worsted weight yarn. This is Deborah Norville's Serenity Baby, so it looks very similar to the other yarn I've been using for this project. It's just a little bit finer. So with that and your eye hook, start by chaining 2 and work 5 single crochets in the second chain from the hook. Now I've left a very long beginning tail here. We'll use that to sew our star onto our project. You can leave either a long beginning tail or a long ending tail. Doesn't really matter which one it is, so long as you leave one somewhere. I like to leave the beginning tail. Some people prefer to leave the end tail so it doesn't get in their way. So there's 5 single crochets. Then you'll just join to the first single crochet with a slip stitch, just like that. So we've got a little circle there. For round 2, you'll chain 3. Slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, skip the first one there, slip stitch in the second one, single crochet in the next chain, and then slip stitch in the next single crochet of round 1. So right here. And we'll repeat that around until we have 5 points to our star. And then at that point you can finish it off, and like I said, if you didn't leave a long end at the beginning, leave a long end at the end, and then weave in whichever your shorter end is. Alright, now your scarf has got a lovely edge, and we've got only a few steps left to make it a finished product. One of those is the fringe. Now, in the pattern it says, you know, just cut some pieces of blue yarn 12 inches long. You can certainly pull out a ruler and do that, but I make a lot of fringe. So this is a board that's 6 inches wide. And if I take my yarn, and I'm going to hold the end down here at the end, and I'm just going to wrap around, oh, I don't know, several times. I don't need to fringe both sides of my scarf, so I don't need quite as many as you will. But then ending down at the bottom, you'll snip your yarn at the same end where you started. So there's a yarn end, there's a yarn end. And then I'm going to snip all of these pieces of yarn right here across the bottom. So I'll just slide my scissors under them and cut. And now I magically have a lot of pieces of yarn 12 inches long. And what you'll do with these is on the ends of your scarf, take one piece of yarn, fold it in half, bring your crochet hook up through the back of your edging, hook the middle of your string, pull it through, and then pull the loose ends through the loop, just like that. And that, my friend, is the easiest way to make fringe. Let me show you again. Take your loop, fold it in half, stick your crochet hook up from the back of your work, grab the center of the loop, pull it through, and then pull your loose ends through the center of the loop. And just do that all the way across each of the short ends of your scarf. Only other thing to do is sew on your stars. You should have 4 stars, that's 2 for each blue stripe. Start by threading your needle. Get a yarn needle with the biggest eye you can, especially when you're working with this bulky weight yarn. This is one of my favorite needles. I use it for pretty much everything. But take your yarn, fold it in half, and kind of pinch it between your fingers, just like so. And then take your needle and just kind of wiggle it right over the top of the yarn. Easiest way to thread yarn into a needle that I know of. And then just take your stars and you'll just whip stitch them kind of on to your blue background here. You just want to make sure that all your points get down. So you could do this a number of ways. You could actually whip stitch the edges, which would look something like this. Just going into each stitch. This way is kind of nice because you can work it all from the front. The other way you could do it is working more underneath. Go to the center, come out to the edge, and just tack the points of the star. You can do whichever way you like. The whip stitching the edges might be a little more secure, so you know, if you think it's gonna need to stand up to a lot of wear and tear, that might be the way to go. It doesn't really matter how you sew it on as long as it's nice and secure. Well, I hope this video has been helpful to you guys. If you have any questions, you may certainly leave them down in the comments below. And in the description, you will find the pattern as well as all the materials you need for this project. Thanks for watching.
And this is the third part, which we're going to do the edging round. So at the end of row 13, so what that is to just go between these two shells and go into that space right there and work a single crochet like that.